Hey everyone, Joey here, and today I want to talk a little bit about a product coming from Retrobit next month called the Prism HD Adapter for the Nintendo GameCube. It is only compatible with GameCube models DOL001. These are the models with the digital AV output on the back with the analog AV output on the side. But this will basically allow you to use an HDMI cable on your Nintendo GameCube. Now, there's already another product like this called the EON GCHD, and I'm going to get to that a little bit later, but right now I want to talk about what comes in the box when you buy this product. You can't buy it right now, it is coming out in March, but let's take a look and see what's inside this box. You get the adapter itself, a remote control, and you get an instruction manual. Right away, the first thing that jumped out at me though was the USB-C port, because I figured this would have to be used to power the device as you use it, because there are some HDMI converters that you have to plug in to use, and they have you do that by plugging in a micro USB cable or something of that sort. Thankfully, that is not the case here though. It works without being plugged into a wall. This is mainly used to plug into your computer to update the firmware. It doesn't come with a USB-C cable, but at this point, if you don't have a USB-C cable laying around your house somewhere, you can find one really cheap online or at your nearby store or what have you. But this particular converter uses the open source GC Video 3.0 firmware, which features line doubling, scanline filters, and different aspect ratios to make the games look as best as possible on your HD TV. Now, if you've ever tried playing your retro consoles with composite cables on your HD or 4K TV, you would know that it really doesn't look that good, which is why getting one of these converters would be an absolute blessing if you're really trying to get the best visuals out of your GameCube on your HD or 4K TV. It doesn't convert to 4K, heck, it doesn't even convert to HD. It really just makes the signal go through an HDMI cable, making the image look cleaner and crisper, going up to resolutions of 576p, not 720p or 1080p. Of course, another good reason why you'd want to get an HDMI converter like this is to capture footage on your HDMI capture card. Most capture cards these days require an HDMI signal, so instead of picking up an old capture card like a Pinnacle Dazzle to hook up your composite cables to, picking up an HDMI converter like this would be way less of a hassle, and you can capture your gameplay footage at 60 frames per second, like you're seeing on screen. But the first thing I wanted to do when getting this product was compare it to my EON GCHD. Now, I do not have the EON GCHD Mark II, I only have the first model, but from what I can tell, the main difference between the Mark I and the Mark II is that you can update the firmware easier on the Mark II, and it has an analog output, so the image quality is probably the same across the board, but it's important to note that the Mark II is $150 US, as opposed to the Prism HD Adapter's $80. And the Prism comes with a remote that EON does not. You would have to get a remote separately, so that's really nice that they included one in the Prism. So what I wanted to do now is compare the two visually, and I used Metroid Prime, one of the best looking games on the GameCube, to compare the two, and I really just cannot tell a difference between the two. If anything, the edges on Samus's beam look a little bit less jaggedy on the Prism than the EON, but maybe I'm just making that up in my head. I really can't tell a huge difference here, but both converters already look great, but again, one of them is not $150. Actually, neither of them are, but I remember the Mark I being around $100 when I got it, which is still a little more expensive than the Prism HD adapters, so it looks like I'm still getting the same performance on the Prism as I am on the EON. And like I said, there is a remote included with the Prism, which lets you access a menu, allowing you to access some advanced settings, such as line doubling and the scanline filters I mentioned earlier. You can also increase the brightness, increase the contrast, and the saturation, all that good stuff. My only complaint so far is that with the remote, you have to point directly at the converter itself, but sometimes I feel like it doesn't quite pick up the signal as well as I want it to, but that's just a minor nitpick. You're not going to be going into the menus that much. You're just going to find the right settings for the right games, and you're just going to have fun from there. But anyway, those are my initial impressions of the Prism HD adapter so far. I really like this product, and I'm going to test it out on some more games and go into the menus a little more before I give my official review. If you have any questions about this product, please ask them in the comment section down below, and I will answer them in the upcoming review or simply in the comments section down below. But thank you so much for watching this initial impressions video on the Prism HD adapter from Retrobit. If you're already interested and you want to pre-order it, check out the link in the description below. Again, this product is expected to ship in March, so be prepared for that. And if you want to check out more videos, look at the ones on the right for topics that you might be interested in. But until next time, everyone, bye.